Is crypto a scam? Let's get into it. Welcome to the Tech Intersect Podcast, where tech intersects with law, business, and our digital lives. I'm your host, Professor Tanya M. Evans, author of Digital Money Demystified and founder of the Advantage Evans Academy and the Digital Economy Leadership Institute. Now, today we're diving into a crucial conversation, again, dispelling this myth that crypto is a scam. It came up because someone came for me on LinkedIn, of all places. It turned into a very bird app conversation. I posted something about crypto regulation on my timeline in LinkedIn, and somebody actually came for me saying, I think Sam Bankman-Fried would like to have you on his legal defense fund. Excuse me, first of all, I don't even know you. How did you get here? And what are you talking about? And I actually said, because don't come for me unless I send for you. He actually, when I said, I don't understand, what do you mean? And he said, he was basically disparaging all of crypto as just a scam, and therefore me, by association, a scammer. I am a tenured professor of law. This guy was actually a lawyer too, um, and connected to some of the people who I'm connected to at the law school. I am a full tenured professor at Penn State Dickinson Law School. I am a co-hire appointee at the Penn State Institute for Computational and Data Sciences. I'm an author. I don't actually have to justify myself, but just the unmitigated gall of it all to come on LinkedIn, onto my page, and then associate me with Sam Bankman-Fried, a Class A fraudster, and his crime had nothing to do. He's now been convicted, so we don't have to say alleged. At the time of this recording, we're just waiting for his sentencing at this point, and he went to justice swiftly from being apprehended in the Bahamas in November of 2022 to being convicted in October or November of 2023. Not bad. Let's check into how long it took to take down Bernie Madoff and Lehman Brothers. Did any of them go to jail? I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, it's infuriating for people who know next to nothing to, in a very lazy and pompous way, to dismiss the crypto ecosystem and anybody who works in it as just one big scam. And then to have the bazungas to actually comment on it, it just is the epitome of how far we've come in terms of civility. Story for another day and another podcast. Anyway, some people you'll never convince, and I'm not actually in the business of convincing. I'm in the business of educating and empowering. So for those of you who have heard or even said crypto is all a scam, I deal with that in my book, Digital Money Demystified, but I wanted to hop on to a solo episode to deal with this specifically and a couple of other things that have come up in the form of frequently asked questions. Some I deal with in Digital Money Demystified, and some here on one of the almost 200 episodes of the Tech Intersect podcast. If you've been with me from the beginning or at any time, thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate you. We will all do this together and do this better for sure. Having an issue with my charging. I think that happened yesterday, so I want to make sure. 99% uploading. Okay. Continuously, blah, blah, blah. All right. All right, so let's get into it. I often hear people hastily dismiss cryptocurrencies and blockchain as scams. This perspective is not just uninformed, it's also potentially harmful to your ability to adapt and to thrive in a Web3 world. So let's myth bust here one by one. Number one, cryptocurrencies as frauds. Definitely think again. First of all, there are over 40,000 different types of coins and tokens, and that doesn't even account for non-fungible tokens. But It's critical to understand that cryptocurrencies are as diverse as they are innovative. And certainly, anytime you have a honeypot or the potential for money, you will have scams and scammers that exist. They exist in every industry. Most cryptocurrencies are built on a very robust and transparent technology. The tech isn't a fad. It's being embraced by global financial giants and governments. It's signaling legitimacy. It's giving potential. Shout out to Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan, even though Jamie Dimon will go before Congress and say, shut it down, shut it down. Not so quietly, JP Morgan has launched its JP coin, has adopted blockchain infrastructure on the back end to make transactions around the globe better, faster, and cheaper. I don't know if they're passing that savings on to you, my friends, but they are definitely participating in the upside of the technology for sure. And additionally, the underlying technology that is blockchain technology for cryptocurrencies, blockchain is basically a database that manages and secures the transactional data or information about cryptocurrencies, but can also be used without crypto to manage and organize data, for example, with supply chain. Um, and these features, modern technology, ensuring security and transparency and decentralization, which lends to access and inclusion. Those features aren't just buzzwords. They actually represent a paradigm shift in how we handled data and transactions and even governance. So dismissing the technology out of hand because some bad actors have tarnished the space is like throwing away the baby with the bathwater. And if that's the rule, then we should start with legacy finance. Like, does anybody remember the housing market scam, junk bonds, the US credit rating downgrade, the regional bank failures here in the United States? Maybe it's just me, but we should really be paying attention not just to not to the technology, but the actors. If someone does something bad, violates a rule, a regulation, a law, we have plenty of laws to protect. And there are some laws that we need that specifically apply to the crypto space, but that doesn't mean it's wholly without regulation or accountability. All right, so that's just a myth. Number two, this conception or misconception that crypto is just one single bubble waiting to burst. So the crypto market has ups and downs. Cryptocurrency is a bit of a misnomer because, yes, you can use various crypto assets as a medium of exchange or a unit of account, as we do with currency, but also functions as a store of value. I think Bitcoin is the best example of that, even though Satoshi's vision was to have Bitcoin be peer to peer cash, and certainly it is used around the world. Where there's hyperinflation or unstable governments or unstable money, then that could be a great hedge against the loss of money or funds or value, I should say more broadly. But to call it a mere bubble is to just overlook the resilience and the growing acceptance of cryptocurrencies around the globe and also blockchain technology. In fact, a recent University of Chicago survey found that 13% of Americans traded crypto last year. And the bankrate.com website reports the following statistics. I love to be accurate with statistics, so we take a look here. About 21% of American adults have owned cryptocurrency as of 2022, according to according to NBC News. Bankrate also reports that Vietnam is ranked at the top of Chainalysis global crypto adoption index, which is interesting, as of September 2022, followed by the Philippines and Ukraine to round out the top three. Many high adopters are developing markets. So usually when we have this conversation in the United States, there's more speculation and investment, where around the globe, others are using crypto on a daily basis as an alternative to a faltering government, an untrustworthy government, or a destabilized economy. They tend to be in developing markets like Ukraine, Kenya, Nigeria, according to Chainalysis Venezuela. In the United States, high income earners are disproportionately represented among crypto investors, those making more than $100,000 usually annually. That comprises about 25% of crypto owners, but only 15% of the general public. And so that presents a potential upside for uh, adoption, because as the availability of Bitcoin reduces over time in 2024, we'll be talking about the halvening event or the halving event, where Bitcoin becomes more scarce as a matter of the rules in the software. But every day, more and more new entrants come in. In 2024, we will see the approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, or ETF. There's an Ethereum spot exchange traded fund that will probably happen in the next 12 to 18 months as well. So much more attention and demand for Bitcoin, ETH, other cryptocurrencies will happen, but Bitcoin in particular continues to get more scarce. About 70% of cryptocurrency owners are men, but they represent only 48% of the general population in the United States, according to a report by Morning Consult. Women comprise 30% of crypto owners, but 52% of the general population. So it seems over time, the demographic of women will continue to be drawn, and that's a potentially ripe market to pay attention to. Listen, folks, this is not speculative frenzy. This is a burgeoning financial ecosystem. I know a bunch of folks, when they saw Tom Brady and a whole bunch of folks at crypto.com stadiums right before the big run up to 67,000 per coin for Bitcoin. And then people got in at the top of the market, and the market started to pull back and retract. There was this little thing called the pandemic. There was a global economic crisis around that as well. There are a lot of macroeconomic external influences, and crypto was not protected from that. Everything took a hit for sure. With a retraction, sometimes that's natural to support growth, to weed out bad actors, which we certainly saw in the crypto contagion year as well. So much going on, but to write it off as a bubble is to ignore the lessons of history. We have to remember the dot-com bubble. It burst, quote unquote, but out of the ashes rose today's tech giants. Cryptocurrency is at a similar crossroads, brimming with potential, because we can now use the same technologies: cryptography, which is the encryption of data in a novel way, peer-to-peer technology, the internet, consensus protocols, to move value instead of just information. So keep that in mind. It's worth learning whether or not you invest either directly in crypto or in companies that are responsible for building and innovating in the space. You have to know so that you can make an informed decision about whether this is for you or not. Beyond investment, we can talk also about the utility of cryptocurrency. So crypto's utility extends way beyond investment. The first use case was around finances, but I argue that it might not even be the best. Maybe in 10 years, we're talking about how important it is for identity. For example, one of my favorite use cases in the space. So we're talking about a foundational shift in how we approach finance, contracts, even art, from decentralized finance and being your own bank to non-fungible tokens. Crypto assets are pioneering new paradigms for business, for investment, for connection, and for closing the wealth gap, or how you build wealth in a Web3 world. So take DeFi, for instance. It's a system that democratizes finance. It removes intermediaries and offers greater access to financial services, banking, loan, etc. Or consider NFTs. Definitely took their dings when the crypto contagion year kicked in and the market retracted and the value pulled back. But the non-fungible token technology itself, having a unique one-of-one representation and connection to some type of digital or real world or physical world, I should say, experience. It's about more than money. It's about reshaping our digital interactions. It's reshaping our fundamental understanding and relationship with value, how we create wealth, and therefore freedom in the world is dramatically shifting. That doesn't say that traditional assets have gone anywhere. Real estate is sovereign. Having a mix of stocks and bonds and other investments is critically important. But to completely disregard this new wave of technology and the wealth potential, as well as the pitfalls, means it leaves you at greater risk of not only being left behind, but if you do participate, making really poor choices. And I want to help you and protect you from doing that. Now let's talk about the complexity. And I talk about this in the book Digital Money Demystified as well, but let's chop it up here. I understand that technology can seem daunting. I am a non-technologist. A friend of mine calls this being tech adjacent. But the resources, obviously like digitalmoneydemystified.com, are here to simplify and make this learning journey accessible to everyone. Knowledge is power, and we fear what we don't understand. So the time to get understanding is right now. Wisdom can come from understanding as well. That's the next step. And it's not just about understanding the technology, like looking under the hood. You may never do that. I haven't looked under the hood of my ginormous computer called a car that oftentimes feels like it's driving better than I am. But it's about seeing the potential of crypto assets and blockchain technology, the potential impact on your personal and professional lives, on society more broadly. And really, the key to demystifying crypto is to approach it with an open, cautiously optimistic willingness to learn, not with a preconceived notion of uh, fads or scams or the lazy headlines that aren't there to inform and educate and empower, but really just serve as clickbait in a 500-word article on something that probably the author didn't understand very well either. In fact, if you want to get real actual news in the space, go to coindesk.com. Coindesk.com is one of the leaders in the space. Forbes Crypto is good at coverage as well. Yahoo Finance does a lot of good coverage as well. I continue to listen to this podcast and look back at my Digital Money Demystified series where I go through each myth in greater depth. I'm only hitting the high notes today in the interest of time and to address some things that I wanted to talk about specifically today. Now, investment safety. Like any investment, crypto comes with risks, but the right knowledge, the right strategy, if you needed coaching, courses, content, community can be a valuable way to move to diversification and greater understanding. It's about informed decision making and not fear driven avoidance, because then that ushers in the risk of being left behind. Losing a first mover advantage, becoming so disconnected from where technology is and financial technology that you can't meaningfully participate. It's like not having um, your bank app at this point in time and having to go and find an actual bank, um, brick and mortar, right? To go find a bank, the brick and mortar location is almost impossible in this day and age. And we just travel more. It's so convenient to have an app, but if you don't have the app, you can't meaningfully participate. I know people who don't have Cash App or Venmo or know what Zelle is, or they barely have a PayPal account. If you don't have these things and know how to use them, it makes the next step even more difficult as we continue to advance with financial technology. Another thing is the intrinsic value of crypto. I hear this a lot too, which is kind of a byproduct of crypto being a scam, which means it has no intrinsic value. The value of cryptocurrencies isn't arbitrary. It's fundamentally rooted in the same way other assets of value are. It's rooted in its utility, in the trust of its relevant community, and in the innovative features of the relevant blockchain. So it isn't magic internet money, it's this new form of value exchange, another alternative in moving money, moving value. The intrinsic value of crypto also lies in the problem solving capabilities of blockchain tech. So, from improving supply chain transparency, as I intimated earlier, to enabling secure and immediate cross border transactions and facilitating remittances around the globe better, faster, in a cheaper way. The applications are vast, deeply impactful, and really, really important for you to wrap your brain around and start to become more comfortable with, or at least familiar with, all that's going on at legacy companies like Visa and MasterCard, Cash App, Venmo. Again, the JP Morgans of the world, the fact that ETFs are coming online that will be offered by Grayscale and BlackRock. This is happening. This is not a fad, a scam. It's not here today, gone tomorrow. This has become deeply embedded in traditional finance, and you have to understand the bridge between traditional finance and the future of decentralized finance. So it's really important. There are other things that we could talk about. Get the book to hear to read about my thoughts on the environmental concerns and the innovations in this space. The fact that crypto isn't just for quote unquote crypto bros. That's a myth that I dispel in the book as well. It's not just for tech whizzes. You don't need to be a tech expert to engage with crypto. The ecosystem continues to evolve and be more inclusive, more user friendly, has a plethora of platforms dedicated to educating beginners and new entrants. This inclusivity is real, and the access is really vital because, from my perspective, as someone who is wholly invested in and concerned about economic justice, what I'm striving for through Advantage Evans and through my work for a future where crypto is accessible to everyone, that people can do so safely and legally and confidently, regardless of their tech or financial background. It's about creating a community where everyone has the opportunity to participate in this digital revolution. And despite any regulatory hurdles or road bumps or challenges, that's a part of any emerging technology. But rather than making crypto impractical, my hope for the regulatory framework that we are kind of building as the plane is flying is really paving the way for its safe and efficient, informed growth for investors, for consumers, for innovators, for governments, for businesses, which is really a positive development for all of society. So, even from the perspective of regulation, and we'll wrap on this note, regulation shouldn't be seen as a barrier, but as a stepping stone toward safer mainstream adoption in the space. The right calibration between supporting innovation and protecting investors and consumers, etc. So proper regulation is going to do that. Protect consumers, protect investors, protect a robust ecosystem of innovation to stabilize the crypto market over time. And so this isn't just about investors or tech enthusiasts. This is about understanding that crypto is becoming an essential part of staying relevant in today's digital economy, regardless of your profession. But if you are a lawyer or a financial professional, you've got to get ahead of this. And to support you in doing that, I'm launching in 2024 an institute specifically to support professionals to not just understand but thrive and on the leading edge of the crypto and digital asset economy. Crypto isn't just a financial instrument, it's a technological advancement that really touches various aspects of our lives, from artists monetizing their work through NFTs to companies using blockchain for supply chain management, a safer, more efficient identity and control of data. The applications are endless in entertainment, in healthcare. I could go on and on and on. So I'll stop there and again encourage you to visit Digital Money Demystified to learn as an investor, as a professional. You want to get a solid foundation so that you can make good choices out there in those crypto streets. And a final reminder, dismissing crypto as a scam is just like shutting the door on the future of finance, business, and investment. And as a business leader, legal or financial professional, staying informed is not just a choice, it's a necessity to avoid um, irrelevance and even the potential for professional malpractice if you don't stay ahead of this learning curve, and protect yourself, your business, and your clients. And to that end, a couple of upcoming events to help you learn so that you can lead. My new enterprise, Black Web Street Presents, has a number of programming options coming up. One, I'll deal with the future of cooperative economics during Kwanzaa. That will be on Friday, December 29th. More information is available at advantageevans.com, and also special programming on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 15th, 2024. Next Gen Nest Egg. It's an opportunity for families to come together. Bring your teens, younger kids, parents coming together, uncles, aunts, grands, coming together for Next Gen Nest Egg. Black Web Street has a series of presentations specifically for you to support your family in closing the wealth gap here in the United States and around the world. And also, more broadly, elevate your expertise for lawyers and financial professionals. So if you're a financial advisor, finance or intellectual property, other areas where this technology is leading your clients to ask questions, you need to have the right answer. So elevate your expertise. You'll be hearing more about it, but you can learn more at advantageevans.com. The next series begins on March 30th, 2024. And finally, the Digital Money Demystified Insiders Club kicks off officially in 2024. You can join monthly. We have annual programs, payment plans for you to connect, get regular updates for the book, what's going on in the ecosystem in terms of laws and regulation, new tools, best in class of tools and technology, ripped from the headlines, and lots of programming, and even depending upon your level, small group or one-on-one coaching with yours truly. I'm always available for speaking engagements, for keynotes, for trainings at the corporate level on a B2B basis. Learn more about all of that at advantageevans.com or shoot me a message there. That's advantageevans.com. All right, before we wrap up, remember, embracing a mindset of curiosity and informed decision making is key. And whether you choose to invest in crypto or not, being educated about it is a non-negotiable, especially you professionals out there. And for a deeper dive into this transformative technology, visit digitalmoneydemystified.com. And for coaching, courses, and community, advantageevans.com. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and let's keep intersecting technology with our everyday lives.